When you know that you are queer, but your favorite drink is beer, that's gayish. You can bottom without stopping, but you can't stand going shopping, that's gayish. Oh, gayish, you're probably gayish. Well, life's just too short for narrow stereotypes, so it's gayish. We're also gayish. It's Gayish with Mike and Kyle.
Hello, everyone in the podcast universe. This is Gayish.
The podcast where a watch top never boils.
Wait. Have I ever boiled before?
No, because you were watched always.
I guess so. How? And something about a not watched top seems kind of rapey. I'm Mike Johnson.
I'm Kyle Getz.
We're here to bridge the gap between sexuality and actuality. And today we're going to talk about hosting.
We're going to talk about hosting.
It's Derek's fault.
Yep. Derek suggested this topic. Thank you, Derek.
Yep. Because it's the holidays.
Yeah. And you probably have or had people over for Christmas.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. I guess also, I didn't think about how to do this run up.
What?
No news this week, everybody. Instead, we're going to have a little chat.
Yeah. Wow, that sounds like they're in trouble.
Yeah, we need to talk.
We need to have a conversation.
No, it's the first annual Dickbag Fuckface Asshole Awards.
Yay!
Which I'm just so super excited. This has been a dream I've talked about off and on for all year, right?
Yeah.
So, first of all, a alert listener, Michael Sneed, and his husband recently started a new 3D printing business. You can go to lionsdenmfg.com, that like Lions Den Manufacturing, or you can go to lionsdenmfgllc.etsy.com to see their work. But after I had talked about wanting to have a Dickbag Fuckface Asshole awards, whatever, they reached out and said, hey, we make 3D printed things and would be happy to make a trophy for you.
Oh, wow.
And so that solidified it, that it was a thing that needed to happen. So we posted to Facebook in the Gayish community, which if you haven't joined yet, you absolutely should, because I'm going to give a prize away to whoever's the 3,000th person, which is going to happen soon.
Yep. Go to facebook.com/group/Gayish podcast.
And said, vote for your favorite Dickbag Fuckface assholes and who should win here for 2023. Now. How do I want to do this, Kyle? We allowed people to add their own. Mm-hmm. Derek had kept a list of ones that we had said
like
needed to be nominated.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to try to really quickly do some brain math and do like in fourth place.
Okay.
First of all, one of the nominees was Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. We'll get to that in just a second. But also was Speaker of the Gayish, Mike Johnson.
At your request.
I didn't get a single vote, and I'm fucking pissed.
People don't think you're a dickbag fuckface asshole.
Well,
it's a compliment.
I don't think I took it that way, but okay.
You took it as you didn't get any votes?
Yes. Okay. In fourth place, added by one of our favorite Canadians, Stuart Brotherhood, said, with 8% of people voting for him, was Vladimir May He Die Soon Putin. Okay. In third place, with 15% of the people voting for him, Donald J. Trump.
Wow. Third place.
Yeah. Which, expected more.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be higher.
In second place, motherfucker who ruined my name, Speaker of the United States House of Representatives, Mike Johnson, with 16% of people voting for him.
I'm noticing some lower numbers.
By the way, we had 285 people vote.
Wow.
In this. And you could vote for as many as you wanted to, which is why the numbers aren't going to add up to 100%. Drum roll, please. Great. Do your fingers hurt yet?
Nope.
How about now? With 43% of the vote, our first inaugural annual Dickbag Fuckface Asshole Award goes to Governor Ron DeSantis of the state of Florida.
Woo! Woo!
Yay!
Winner!
He will be receiving and promptly throwing away a 3D printed extended middle finger on a pedestal that says his name on it.
I still can't believe you're actually mailing this to his office.
And I mean, I have to, right?
I guess, I mean,
What's the other option?
not doing that.
Not and the fine people at Lion's Den Manufacturing have sent two, so we'll get to keep one here, and hopefully this is a tradition that will continue into next year, and we'll eventually have an entire case full of them. I don't know. Our life is weird.
Really funny.
Okay. Why is Ron DeSantis, who could not be here to accept this award,
Yeah, he had other plans.
the
today.
right answer this year? What are the things that he's done, Kyle?
The Don't Say Gay bill.
The Don't Say Gay bill.
That's the big thing.
Absolutely.
And he also had like his homophobic presidential campaign video, I think, that he's just all around exploiting people's fear of trans people to gain political clout and aid in his run for president.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. He has been doing his very best to stoke the fear flame, and we are the favorite whipping post for the right, and he's been more than happy to use us for points. More specifically, the trans community has been, under siege, but particularly in Florida, and particularly because of this dickbag fuckface asshole. He is almost certainly going to lose the Republican nomination,
which I had before we got too far into this had predicted that he was going to be the nominee for Republican. So I'm surprised he isn't doing better.
Yeah, and I think maybe it's just because Trump is it's a cult. It's a cult. They cannot and will not. The mental gymnastics that they are capable of to keep him as their chosen leader is just astounding to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm not sure, like Ron DeSantis seems dumb and looks kind of like a butt face.
Yeah.
And is evil.
Yeah.
But also, I don't know that I actually don't think he's dumb, and that's scary.
It's Trump. There's like a chaotic nature to him that means that things might not actually get done because you never know what he's going to say or do, and there's disorder and kind of chaos that follows.
Yeah.
That kind of like speaking on a whim or making decisions on a whim. So the idea of having someone who's organized and political and connected to the political world, knows how these things work, that's really scary.
Yeah. Also, if maybe Disney's the reason he's not being more successful. Like you can't piss off that mouse.
Yeah. I mean, he picked a big fight with them.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, everybody, that's the Dickbag Fuckface Asshole Awards for 2023. Hopefully we will have a similar thing in 2024. I have grand hopes that eventually it'll turn into like, you remember when Halle Berry went to the Razzies? Mm-hmm. I'm hoping that happens someday.
Oh yeah.
That it turns into a thing. There's a pink carpet that we walk down, and we get to say bitchy things about people's outfits, and then we give away awards, and somebody actually shows up to claim it.
Yeah, like multiple nomination types, like different subcategories of dickbag fuckface asshole that we'll come up with later. Yeah.
Yep.
Got big dreams for this.
Yep.
Thank you to everyone who voted and participated. We really appreciate your votes. I did not know it was going to be such a runaway for DeSantis.
Yeah. Apparently people really, really hate that guy, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And again, thank you to Michael Sneed and his husband of Lion's Den Manufacturing, lionsdenmfg.com. We appreciate you for like pushing me over the edge and making this a thing that's happening. I really appreciate you.
Yeah.
Okay. Patreon? We don't have any. Oh, we're not doing that part either this week, huh?
Oh, no. Sorry. I do have a Patreon person. I just completely forgot since we're all fucked up this week. Thank you to our new Patreon member, Marcel Pens.
Oh,
not Pence.
No.
pens.
Okay.
So that's a relief.
I mean, if Marcel is a pence, that's a terrible disguise. You could have done better.
Yeah.
At hiding that. Like, I don't know. Picked a last name like DeSantis.
Yeah. Thank you to Marcel. Thank you to everyone who supports us on Patreon. If you want bonus content, bonus episodes, ad free, and a day early, go to patreon.com/Gayish podcast. You get a 10% discount for signing up for an annual membership.
Yeah, you do.
Do it.
Also, speaking of Patreon,
Yeah.
Patreon's Christmas present to us this year is not doing this extra segment for them this week.
We are recording 2 episodes back to back, so we can take a week off technically over Christmas. So yeah, we just are going to skip out on the Patreon segment this year. So thank you for your understanding on that.
Yeah, and this episode's weird.
This episode is weird.
So we can do
sure.
whatever we want to.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, okay. Great. Glad we got that out of the way. You want to talk about hosting?
Yeah, let's talk about hosting.
Okay. There's lots of different kinds of hosting and lots of different kinds of hosts, Kyle.
Okay. I was thinking of one particular kind of hosting, but
You mean the grinder kind?
the grinder kind. Yeah, obvi.
Okay.
What other kinds are there? There's hosting family or hosting people over for a party.
Yes, absolutely. That's maybe my favorite kind of hosting.
Yeah.
And then there's being like a co-host of a podcast.
Oh yeah.
We are hosts, Kyle.
We are hosts
every week.
every week, right in your ear holes.
And then there's my maybe favorite host, meaning which you can combine with others to make it funny. That's what the cracker is that you eat. That's Jesus's body in communion. It's called the host.
Oh, because it's like hosting his body.
I don't know if the etymology from that is the same or not.
Oh.
Body of Christ, consecrated bread. It is different. It is different. It's a different etymology. Anyway, but like, put Jesus in your mouth. It's his body.
Yeah. But like is actually his literal body, not metaphorically.
No.
His literal body.
His literal body. Thanks, transubstantiation.
It's not.
It's not. It's just a cracker.
Just a cracker.
And not a particularly good one either.
Yeah. Have you ever taken communion?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah. Not in a Catholic church though.
Oh.
Because they're dickbag fuckface assholes.
Oh.
You have to go through like classes and then like do first communion, which is like a thing, and then you have to be a good Catholic. And like we left the Catholic Church when I was like little. I was like 4 or 5 years old, so never did all of that. Other denominations of Christian church, though, you don't have to do their horse shit to take communion. You just get to do it. And so, yeah, I've had like little crackers and shots of grape juice in Methodist church, Baptist church. Yeah. Have you?
I've done it once when I went to church. I was playing Joseph in a church play, even though I didn't go to church at all. I forget why I was doing this, because they needed people. I don't know.
Because you were equity and
yeah. And I
have your SAG card.
Yeah. Before the strike. And there was like a whole church service as well. And everyone was lining up to go to do something. And so I lined up to do it too. I just was following what everyone else did. And later my parents were like, you probably shouldn't have gone to get communion. I have not done all those things ahead of time. Like you said, like I have not taken classes on this or know anything about it. So yeah. Done communion once, eaten Jesus' body once.
You've had a host in your mouth.
Yep. Exactly. Should I start off?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Grindr.
Yeah.
On help.grindr.com has a bunch of terminology and their definitions.
Oh, really?
So I wanted to start. I just picked out my favorite ones. Wanted to start by giving you some terms and their definitions.
Okay. Does it do that in other languages too?
I don't know.
I need to find out because like I do all this travel for work.
Oh.
And everywhere in like a non-English speaking country, they have their own you need a decoder ring for each like language.
Although this seemed like I don't know. Well, I'll tell you. But yeah, that would be very helpful to like learn all of the what they actually mean, or yeah, how it translates. Because it's probably going to be like not the dictionary definition of that word. It's going to be slang and.
Well, and I also I just made it about language, but also in the UK they use slightly different things. Like people don't say hosting; they would say can accommodate.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow, that sounds classier than what we say.
Well, because they're classier, Kyle.
They are classier.
And then you read Grindr profiles with a British accent, and they're kind of sexier.
I prefer Australian, but that's just me.
Mm.
Bubble butt.
Bubble butt. Bubble butt. Bubble butt. Bubble butt. It's the Bubble Butt song.
Is that from something?
It's the bubble. We got to add it to the list now.
Oh, there's a real Bubble Butt song?
I think so.
Okay. Please don't play it right now. That's going to be horrible audio.
Okay, great.
Definition: has a symmetrical, smooth, round, and soft butt.
Yeah. But also big.
Also big.
It can't just be symmetrical and smooth and round. It has to also be big.
Like, it has to be juicy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know that their definition of bubble butt is great. Another definition they have is dirty.
Dirty.
Which their definition says refers to their interests in sex. Dirty kinks, dirty armpits, dirty talk, rather than hygiene, STI status, or substance use.
Oh,
which that's a good clarification because people often use like clean
to mean no STIs. Yeah,
which is not a good thing, by the way. If you do that, don't do that anymore. It's
interesting that they would define that word that way, though, because they're trying to be responsible, while also it's not up to them. Like, some people might use it dirty that way.
Yeah, I think this is
aspirational definitions.
Yes, very well said. Yes, I think aspirational definitions, or how they would want other people to view the definitions, not necessarily how people actually mean them. Dom.
Yeah.
Short for dominant, and the D in BDSM. A Dom is the aggressive partner who typically takes charge during a sexual session. The Dom serves to satisfy a sub who, in a healthy BDSM relationship, has already expressed their boundaries prior to play. They're getting into a lot of important concepts in this.
Consent, boundaries, communication.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then they ended with note, the Dom may not always be a top, which that is important. There are Dom bottoms, power bottom, kind of, I think of those as the same thing.
I suppose you could be a Dom ace too.
Yeah.
A Dom side?
A Dom side? Yeah, for sure. So I think a lot of people associate Dom with top, and I think that's some of our assumptions about what masculinity and being the insertive partner means. Yep. And so those are some things to like unlearn, I think, a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. God, who knew that this is going to be so educational?
I know. Well, I thought their definitions were kind of dumb, but maybe they're better than I was giving them credit for. Do you know what FF means?
Face fucking.
No. You got the second word right.
Fist fucking.
Yeah. An acronym that means fist fucking. This person likes inserting the entire hand into someone's hole.
And the hole doesn't matter. Which hole doesn't matter?
Oh. Which hole definitely matters. Wait, you mean like mouth?
Or vagina? Yeah.
Oh, vagina. I forgot that vaginas exist. Sorry. Thanks. One may be an FF top, an FF bottom, or both. Pup play.
Yeah.
A subset of the pet play fetish where individuals behave and inhabit the headspace of a dog. While the fetish centers around canines, no actual animals are involved.
Well, okay. Great.
Again, I think some of this is like hedging for someone is looking up the definition and is like about, going to be judgy or whatever, and they need to clarify that this is not about actual animals. Yeah. I don't know who needs to clarify that pup play does not involve actual animals, but
well, and what a weird world in which like some right-wing website picks up the help.grindr.com glossary and uses it as ammunition against the LGBT community.
Absolutely. Another one is tentacles.
Oh my God. Okay.
What?
I know that tentacle porn is a thing, but I don't know what tentacles means on a like sex profile. So,
yeah, I guess this doesn't help too much. Has a sexual interest in tentacles and the creatures that possess them. Tentacles are a subgenre of hentai, the sexualized genre of Japanese manga and anime.
Mm-hmm.
So that doesn't help. Like, but what do you want to do? Like,
Yeah.
what do you want to do with me then?
Yeah.
Do you like put on arm, like tentacle, like costume kind of props things and like whip your tentacles at me? Or I don't know.
Yeah.
That has
Yeah.
to be a thing someone that's into tentacles does.
Well, and was it Sex Education that had the girl that had she wore like tentacles on her fingers?
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
That way you get 10 of them.
Yeah, right.
That's exciting. And lastly, hosting.
Hosting.
Their definition is can host someone at their place.
Yeah.
That's a little bit self-referential.
Or at
but
someone else's place?
host
Does it have to be
someone-
your place to host? I
Oh,
think it just means like I have a place where the sex can happen. Whether it's mine or not is not part of the thing.
wait.
What?
You can't host at someone else's place.
You can if you're in a hotel.
Oh. Okay.
Or at your mom's.
Okay.
Mom, I've never done that before. Just so you know.
That's a relief. Okay. I guess, yeah. I guess hosting just means I have a space that we can get together.
Or does it? Does it to you? Does it imply that this is that person's home?
No, when you said like hotel, then you're right. I can host. I can have you over to my hotel room.
Okay. Right.
I don't know.
This conversation's going a host of directions, Kyle.
Great.
That's another meaning of host.
Great.
A whole bunch. Also comes from a different word. I do want to talk about the word a little bit
Okay.
because something interesting. So, host, as in like a person who receives guests. Is this the history of hosting? That's really dumb.
That's an interesting statement, but
It's a person who receives guests, but especially for pay.
oh,
Comes from the late 13th century from Old French, hoste, which means guest, host, hostess, or landlord. All of it comes from Latin hospitum, as in hospitality. And so it really is the first definition. Like, because there are a couple of other examples. Like I said, host as in like a whole bunch, a multitude, many.
Yeah.
Comes from the Old French host, which meant army.
Oh,
But it comes from Latin hostis, meaning a stranger or a foreigner. And so like a hostel is that meaning of the word. And maybe hotel, not sure. The jury's out on that one. And then host as in like the body of Christ, consecrated bread, which comes from the Latin hostia, which meant sacrifice. But yeah, the idea that hosting meant that you were somewhere that somebody was paying to be.
yeah, that's interesting.
I think is really interesting. Okay, so then hosting itself also can refer to some other meanings. Like it's not just the act of having people in your home, whether it's for banging purposes or not. There is also like we said, radio host, podcast host, TV host. That meaning does come out of radio, and I don't know. It's wild to me that like that's a word that had no reason to exist because the technology wasn't there.
Oh yeah,
or whatever.
They had to invent something.
But isn't it
Just
weird
describe-
to call this hosting? Like, have you peeled that apart at all?
Not really.
We're not hosting anything. Like, but that's the meaning of that's what we're called.
Yeah, I mean, there's like kind of like I get the similar vibes of hosting involves like inviting guests into the place that you are, and you're the one that's seeing to them and making sure they're attended for. Like we're kind of doing that. We're seeing guests into this space that we're creating, and we're leading it and making sure they're comfortable and feeling good. I can see some similarities.
We're not making them comfortable, Kyle.
We're making them, and sometimes neither do hosts.
That's true.
Sometimes you get bad hosts.
Okay, a casino host.
Oh,
That's interesting because that person's job is kind of like a sex worker, but without the sex.
A sex worker without the sex.
Hanging out with this person explicitly to try to get them to spend their money on the gambling.
Right.
Like that's
Is that for high rollers that they assign them a casino host?
yeah.
Okay.
Did you watch the show Las Vegas? Do you remember? You didn't watch. That's Josh Duhamel was hot,
Oh yeah.
and but there were lots of like attractive people on that show. But the Montecito Casino had casino hosts, and a lot of the characters in that show were just casino hosts. They were always talking about their whales coming into town and like showing them a good time, and anyway. But yeah, it's a high roller thing mostly. And then maitre d', like the head that can be called the host or the hostess.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not. I think that's like that really old meaning of the word, right? That like seeing customers around.
Yeah.
Okay, so something else worth talking about in the history of hosting, and then I don't know, we'll have to talk about our own experiences or whatever. But hosting in the sense of like having people into your house to like entertain them or feed them is kind of a modern concept. Like it's the Victorians, surprise,
Who did everything.
who did everything, but they sort of really got rolling with the idea of having an intimate gathering where you would entertain folks. Now, royalty did it before that, and that is likely where a lot of the traditions and themes come from. Like there would be a feast, and the monarch or duke or whoever would host the feast, and so that as people got more disposable income and the nuclear family became more of a thing and the nuclear family home became more of a thing, then hosting like on a small basis like that became possible. And Scientific American did a whole thing of the social benefits of dinner parties and the history of them. And they said group meals from community feasts to dinner parties are indicative of the availability of a surplus. And from a historical perspective, surpluses are significant. So we had to get to like, we had to get to a place where we had shit to share with people.
Yeah. Enough that's not just getting by, enough that you had a surplus of food that you could share with other people.
Yes. And there are all of these rules too about it. So if you were hosting, it was a sign that you had the means via surplus food, time, and labor to entertain. So it was a way of looking fancy or being fancy or like
showing off.
Yeah, look at my dick.
Yeah.
It also indicated that you could rely on support or resources from your guests. For your guests, showing up meant that they were in your debt in some way, whether they owed the host labor or knew they might need help feeding their family in the future. Upholding these social contracts was beneficial to both parties and strengthened community networks.
I didn't think about that. Strengthening your community network. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like you're building bonds, and the way it's describing like being in debt to someone, that seems like the positive kind of way of that, of which I'm indebted, so I will help you now in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's also a bunch of like rituals around it, and it varies depending on the place, but like the way that you set out your, like we make the table, right? Could you set up the silverware? Do you candles or not? And all of those like etiquette type things are built up around these social contracts and the quote unquote right way or the fancy way to do things.
Yeah.
And there's some indication though that millennials give zero fucks about that, and that all of it's going to go away in the next 50 years or whatever. So they say that it's because well, first millennials are kind of poor. Like they don't have the resources to do like the hosting. And most millennials are renters as opposed to owning a home, again, because boomers totally fucked the economy so that they can't own homes, and apartments tend to have less space for hosting.
Yeah.
And
which is why I rarely host like for dinner party.
Yeah.
Wise.
But you've figured it out.
I figured it out a couple times.
Yeah. You've got that like you've done some really creative things with your space to make it so that it functions for hosting when you need it to. And I think it's really great.
Yeah.
But it took some doing.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, anyway, so fancy hosting, like the traditional dinner party is going away. And that's sort of the thought about why.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. Anyway.
And I think we millennials like eschew common conventions often because I think we question things a little bit more and say like, why would we do that? Like, well, this doesn't fit for me, or I can't afford this thing that used to happen. Or I think there's a little bit of kind of questioning and pushing back against some of the expectations that has happened with millennials. So I could see that pushing up against like, why do we need this dumb rule that is only there to show how fancy you are?
Yeah.
I could see that being a millennial thing.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's really interesting because I always host a big New Year's party and talking to the boyfriend about that there are parts of what I normally do that he seems to like think are bullshit.
Like what?
Like I typically tell people not to bring anything. He thinks that's crazy. Like why would you say that? And some of it is he's from the South too, so like some of it is just like the standards of like the ritual of host and hosted person. You bring something with you. Yeah. So like part of him thinks that I'm saying like not to do a thing that's required.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then also like, why would I take on all of the burden of providing all of these resources when it could be a community thing? I should plan it that way. Yeah. And I just think it's really interesting. I hadn't thought about it before, but it might be this phenomenon that we're talking about with millennials shifting priorities or whatever. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, what do you got?
I'm going to do a little Ask Reddit segment.
Okay, here we go.
I have 2 questions that I found on Reddit and want to get your thoughts on as well as share the thoughts of others.
Let's do it. Are we back to the Grindr meaning of hosting?
We're back to the Grindr meeting.
Okay, great.
I think which is going to be
the one that matters.
The one that matters, exactly. This is from Ask Gay Bros, the subreddit Ask Gay Bros.
The Reddit that keeps on Redditing.
Yep. Which is safer, host or travel?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a strong opinion?
Well, okay, first, you know me, I'm bad at hookups. I don't do it. And so I don't do many anonymous hookup things. Oh. So having a Grindr chat about like with a person that I've never met, I'm reluctant to go with it without meeting somewhere first at all. In which case I think to host is preferable. But that's like about control or something.
Yeah. But you would meet in a third location and then,
if at all possible, yeah.
And then from there you would prefer to host if it's like, and then let's go back to my place.
I don't think I cared then. That's
okay.
Like the danger isn't where, it's who. Right. And right. But then if I don't know the person at all, it's safer for me here because I think the fear is like that you're going to go somewhere and get rolled, right? Yeah. That you're going to, I don't know, get buried in their backyard or something, chained up in their basement. So I know that I'm not going to do that.
Well, yeah, but could someone still do that if they came over to your place? They would have a harder time doing that because they don't know the layout and the what items you have stashed where. They don't know where the knives are.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I think hosting is safer, but that's just me as somebody who is bad at it and doesn't do it.
Let's see what the internet said.
Okay.
Someone said host because he has hidden cameras at his house.
Oh, great. Okay. Creepy.
That's a possibility, right?
Yeah.
You're allowed to film your own place.
Are you?
I think so. I think you're allowed to film your place.
I don't know, because we're a 2-party consent state.
Oh.
I don't think you can record somebody without them knowing they're being recorded here.
Even when it's in your own place?
I think so. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Huh. I don't know either. Someone said host, but tell them you have housemates. At least that's what I do. The only room they need to see is the bedroom, living room anyway. Which that's an interesting idea. That's like the lie of like, oh, my husband will be home in an hour. You know, like creating the idea of other people so that they're less likely to do something to you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
In response to that, someone said, bleh, I have a 1-bedroom all to myself. So someone said to them, paint a fake door, Wile E. Coyote style, to trick them. Which I like that option.
I love it.
One person said, I always travel, but that is because it significantly reduces the odds of them being a flake. I've also done it enough times that there are no nerves. So traveling.
Hold on.
What?
I guess they could give you a fake address. All right. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. Do you agree about the being a flake? It's harder for them to flake if you're traveling.
Yeah. I mean, once you, again, unless it's a fake address, once you have that, you are going to there.
Yeah.
And
I have gone to someone who gave me a hotel room that I was to visit them, went to the hotel, knocked on the door, never answered.
Oh, God. Ooh. Okay.
Yeah. That was really frustrating. So it's still possible to flake even if you travel.
Yeah.
But hopefully less likely.
You should have kicked that door down.
Yeah.
Just be like,
fuck me.
I'm here. Fuck me.
Come on. And someone else said hosting, but meeting in a public place first to make sure he doesn't give off sketchy vibes, which is what you said.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Like it depends on whether the worry is the big worry of getting murdered or like the smaller worry of getting your stuff stolen. Like hosting, then you're more likely to have like shit stolen because your stuff's all around.
Sure.
So yeah.
Hide the valuables, I guess. I don't know.
That's something I do. I don't do too much. I do put my laptop under the bed.
Okay.
So that's not just like sitting out.
Yeah.
But I don't have too many like valuable things. Unless you're like my phone. Take my TV? Like.
Yeah. It's not likely.
So yeah, I don't have too much that someone could steal that would be like a huge value for them.
I guess I should hide my quart jar full of $100 bills.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. The other Ask Reddit I'm gonna do is from the subreddit Grindr.
Oh, wait. There's a subreddit Grindr?
Oh yeah, there is.
Is it just about Grindr?
Yeah. Of course.
But specifically the app Grindr?
Yep.
Not just like apps in general?
No, there's a subreddit for the...
Is there a subreddit Scruff? Is it the same people?
There's got to be a subreddit for Scruff.
Okay, all right.
I had to imagine.
Sniffies, whatever.
Sniffies? Oh, I wonder if that exists. I'll have to check that after. They said, first time using Grindr, found someone who is hosting. What are some good safety tips?
Oh, yeah. Hide your quart jar full of $100 bills.
Hide your quart jar, yep.
Hide your laptop under your bed.
Hide your laptop.
Okay. When I travel, I text you.
Yes.
Slut.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
We have a agreement that a text message of slut with an address at a time is I'm going to this address to bang. If you haven't heard from me by this time, come find the body.
Start worrying. Yep. Yep. That's a good, having someone know where you're going, and especially like the address, I think is a really smart move.
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone said, text a friend the address where you're meeting as a precaution. And something I used to tell my friends is if I don't text you back before midnight, call me. Something like that. That's a good... Someone else said, don't take his word when he says he's HIV negative.
Okay. All right. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm of the mind... Yes, and I'm of the mind that you should be on PrEP.
Right.
No matter what. And practice safe sex anyway. But,
Right.
like, I'm better at saying that than doing it.
Yeah. Oh, but I think not just assume the default assumption is, especially for like anonymous hookups, like someone you don't know, someone that you haven't like gone on dates with, is assume that they are HIV positive. Just act as if they're HIV positive. What would you be doing to protect yourself?
Well, I think it's interesting too that that's the example, because there's more things out there than just HIV. Like, can't you like assume they have something?
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. So you got your prep, you got your DoxyPep, you got your condoms.
That's also host or travel. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true.
Applies equally.
When you host, you have put out a jar of DoxyPep so that they can take it. Someone else said, don't be afraid or uncomfortable to leave the situation if they catfish you, for example, or if their pictures are 15 years old and look nothing like it, or if something is turning you off.
That's the hardest. The hardest.
Yeah, right?
Ugh.
And that's much easier if you're traveling compared to hosting. If you're hosting, then you have to be like, hey, can you leave? Versus traveling, you can just walk out of their place.
Yep, for sure.
Have you ever left because someone like catfished or didn't look like?
No. Should I have? Yes.
Same.
And I feel like a coward, but hey.
I should have asked someone to leave.
Yeah.
Because they looked so different in their picture, but I still.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know, right?
It's the worst.
I do also feel like a coward for not doing that.
Yeah. Do you host or travel more?
I especially recently tend to host more. That's my preference. Because it encourages me to continue to be the lazy piece of shit that I
Great.
I don't have to go anywhere. It's also easier with Reynolds. Sometimes I have gone before to hook up, and when I came back, there was someone posted on my door, your dog has been whining like all night. So Reynolds can sometimes get anxiety and whine and cause disturbance to other people, and that won't happen if I'm hosting.
Yeah.
Then I have the problem of Reynolds is there. He's usually pretty good at I just set him aside and he stays kind of where he's at and lets me do my thing.
Yeah, daddy's busy.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I think it's mostly the ease of it, having them come to me. What about you?
I mean, I very much prefer to host, and I think that's about control, though.
Yeah.
More than anything, it is also lazy, which I enjoy. But no, it's more about like the fear of going somewhere unknown and what's going to happen and how do I get out, and like what if they bury my body in their basement or whatever. Like, I just can't get over those anxieties. And if a hookup's going to be successful, I need to remove as much anxiety from the equation as possible because of my like weird hangups. So yeah, hosting helps.
What are your weird hangups?
Just that, I mean, it's not a weird hangup. That's a judgy word. But yeah, like this whole thing about like, am I demi or not? And I'm not, but like, I need to have some kind of a connection to trust a person, and I have to trust a person so I can relax, and I have to relax so I can have fun. And that's what it is.
Yeah. And traveling adds anxiety for you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I prefer to host. Yeah. But also, like, even in a situation where like I meet somebody at the bar and make a connection at the bar and have fun, and then we're like, you know, we're a little drunk. I still prefer to host then. Like, it's just as easier. You
seem to prefer to host even like with our friends, like the other kind of hosting.
I do. Yeah.
In general.
I really do. Partially because I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Partially because I like I'm a mother hen of sorts. And yeah.
Does any of that play into hosting for like for sex reasons? Like you like taking care of people, and having someone over here means you're the one that's able to be like taking care of them, versus if you travel, they're taking care of you?
I don't know. I don't think so. I've not thought of it that way before anyway. I really think it's just about safety. Because I have also had like friends with benefits situations where I've gone there, you know, more than once. And that's been good. Like,
but it's because you already knew them.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's just about safety, I think, more than anything.
Yeah.
So, okay. Do you hate it when you host, but like friend stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, kind of.
Because our D&D group, we take turns, and so it's like it's part of the deal that you have to from time to time, right?
Yeah, every now and then. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely get a lot of anxiety. I also like my place is not as clean as other people's. It's much smaller than other people's. My couch is the worst couch and people have to sit on that. And I don't cook, so I have to order food, and that like just everything about it is not set up for me, my interests or skills. It's just the entire thing is like not conducive to who I am as a person. So yeah, I really don't like doing that. That was all for the Ask Reddit. What other when you're hosting, what tips do you have?
Know where your lube is.
Know where your lube. Okay, is that something that is the host required to have the lube and the condoms if you use those?
Required to know, but I think that if somebody is traveling, they might not have the foresight to know what they should have brought with them. And so, like, if the sex is going to happen, there's a bare minimum of things that need to be available. And if they didn't bring it, then you better have it. Yeah. Or say goodbye.
Yeah. Yeah, because we're not doing this without lube.
Right. Right. I think there's some good etiquette things, too. Like
what?
Like, maybe don't have, like wash your sheets and, like, have towels available. And, like...
For after?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know, there's the whole thing about, like, tops sleep on a shitty mattress on the floor with, like, they haven't washed their sheets in a month or whatever. And, like, don't be that top.
There is something nice about... Well, I guess you could do this either way. Like, I think if I was better at kind of being assertive and kind of saying no to hookups, if someone like catfish me or whatever, you have them come to, like, especially if you're in an apartment, have them come to the door and walk down to go get them. So that way you can have a look at them before you open the door to them. And then if you have a look at them and you're like, nope, this isn't happening, you can just turn around and you can just shake your head no and, like, turn around and walk away. Especially if they, like, lied.
Yep.
And you can't really do the same thing when you're traveling.
Right.
So there is something to that.
Well, I guess you could say, meet me at your front door to your building, and I'm not coming to the front door of your place.
Yeah,
or whatever.
That's true. Yeah. I always just have them, I just buzz them right in. Because again, like, this is the laziness factor. This maybe is not what I should do. I just don't want to walk down 3 floors to go let them in.
Yep. Makes sense.
Oops.
Did we do it?
I guess so.
It's the last show of the year.
Last show of the year. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Happy 2004, everybody.
2024?
What did I say?
2004.
2004. It's the year 2004 again. Part 2, 2024, everybody.
Happy 2024, everybody. I hope you got laid.
Yeah. Or get laid again.
Yeah. Should we take a break?
Yeah, let's take a break.
Let's take a break.
Break.
I'm hosting.
This is the part where Mike and Kyle take a break.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Me too.
Are we back?
We're back.
We're back.
We're going to do our Gayest and Straightest.
We're going to do our Gayest and Straightest, but first, local gay bar review. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Going to talk about The Garage in Las Vegas, which came up on our bowling episode. It's a big, beautiful space. It has it's a motor themed decor. It's the garage, like a mechanic's garage kind of a thing. I've never gambled in a gay bar before, but that was great.
Oh,
because it's Las Vegas.
Yeah, you've gotten pull tabs before at other bars.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's not gambling.
Yeah.
Okay. There was lots of lube, vacation signage, Pennzoil, motor oil, that kind of stuff. I went with Mom. Mom was there. And I was glad, like, Las Vegas could be pretty white, but this was a fairly diverse crowd. It wasn't just white people. Mom said, "Ooh, they have a shuffleboard if you want to get pucked." Had a great time. Loved the garage. I thought it was adorable. Go and have fun. 4 dildos.
4. Ooh, that's a good rating on your scale.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep. Our website is gayishpodcast.com.
We are on Instagram, Facebook, Discord. You can find us at Gayish Podcast or go to gayishpodcast.com/contact to find out all the socials that we use.
Our hotline, which you can send us text messages or leave us voicemails, especially if it's your gayest and straightest. We love to hear those in your beautiful little voice.
Yeah.
It's 5855-GAYISH. That's 585-542-9474. Standard rates apply.
Our email is gayishpodcast@gmail.com.
And our physical mailing address is Post Office Box 19882, Seattle, Washington, 98109.
Gayest and straightest?
Let's do our gayest and straightest. I'm happy to go first.
Great.
The straightest thing about me this week was I wore a Seahawks t-shirt.
I didn't know you owned one.
Yeah, I own one. Because my friend Kelly used to work for them, and she would give me stuff from time to time, which I wear every once in a while. I even have one that's it's a gay Seahawks shirt, like it's rainbow logo for Pride kind of stuff.
Yeah,
this was just full on a Seahawks t-shirt.
Wasn't even the gay one.
Yeah, but the gayest thing is boyfriend was like, "You look hot in that Seahawks t-shirt." He's like sporty. Like, which I'm not very sporty. So
you're such a sporty gay, Mike.
I guess so.
Well, my gayest is wearing my cute sparkly flats.
Oh yeah, I love those.
Yeah, me too. I haven't worn those in a while.
Yeah, I
so.
like it when you bust those up.
Yeah, me too. My straightest is I have not washed my jeans in forever.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
I need to wash my jeans.
I had an ex that wouldn't wash them, but just fold them up and put them in the freezer.
Oh, to kill all the termites or whatever?
Yep.
That's a good idea. Maybe I'll just put them in the freezer.
We do have a listener's gayest and straightest this week. It is Spencer from Canada once again. So send in your gayests and straightists, everybody.
Yep.
Hey, this is Spencer from Canada. I've called to submit my gayest and straightest of the day. Definitely the gayest of the day would be I live in Penticton, BC, Canada, so it's now the winter has begun, but I have an infinity scarf, which I feel is very 2009 like, but it's warm and I love it, and you can kind of stylize, tuck it into a jacket. It looks kind of cute. Definitely my straightest of the day would be the fact that I'm wearing currently socks that have holes in them, but they're still socks. I also wear them. That feels very straight to me. But love you guys. Love the show. And have a good night. Bye.
Wearing wholly anything that's straight.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My Britney Spears shirt, my favorite one, has started to get a hole in the armpits.
Oh no.
I know. I'm gonna have to buy a new one.
Oh, I bet you can get that exact shirt.
I bet I can. I bet I could just reorder that same one.
Well, that is it. Thank you to everyone in the world who hosts.
Yeah, thank you to all the hosts.
What would Bottoms do without you?
And thank you to all the people that voted in the Dickbag Fuckface Asshole Awards.
Yeah. And fuck Ron DeSantis.
Yeah, fuck Ron DeSantis. Fuck that guy. But unfuck the following Super Gap Bridgers. Thank you to them for supporting us. Thank you to Kaylee Adams, Kit Oliver, Andrew Bugby, William Bryant, John Crowley, Stephen Porch, Yost Osel, Harry Shaw, Jonathan Montañez, Wadu, Forrest Nail, Patrick Martin, Steve Douglas, Explosive Lasagna, Michael Covington, Just Jamie, Kevin Henderson, Tom Spee, Timothy Sora, Dusty Sands, A.E. Coleman, Chris Cagitatorians, and Jerome York. Thank you for your support.
Thank you for your money. That's it. This has been Gayish from the Chris Cacciatore Studios. I'm Mike Johnson.
I'm Kyle Getz. Until next week, be butch, be fabulous, be you.
See you next year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Isn't there the problem of no one can host? What's the ubiquitous problem?
No one can host. No one's hosting.
Yeah.
Right?
Isn't that what the yeah.
Can't host.
Yeah.
Seattle is I don't want to travel.
That's the
Oh, it's rainy and I'm cold, but I want to have sex, but I don't want to go anywhere.